Hi y'all! This week on Female Initiative, we're talking a little bit about our past and future. So, I would just like to say, first off, do not judge me because I don't have any makeup on and I look like poop. My baby has been sick for the last 2 days. Okay, my past. What should I start with? I was born in Clinton, Oklahoma, which is a very, very, very small town in like the dusty side of Oklahoma. It's on the very far west. And we lived there for about 10 years. And then we moved to El Reno, Oklahoma, which is just a gem of a town. And I would say that I did most of my growing up in El Reno, but I don't know. The first 10 years of my life, a lot of stuff happened. A lot. Like, we lived in the country, obviously, right next door to a farm. So, my roots are country girl, and you would never guess that now, knowing me. But, yeah, I'm pretty country way deep down in there. I was homeschooled my whole life. The first time I ever went to school was when I went to college. My parents decided to homeschool me. I started school when I was 4 years old. They started a year early with kindergarten. That way, if for some reason I wasn't learning, then they could enroll me the same age group as the other kids, which I think is a very smart idea. When I was a kid, when I was about, I want to say 4 or 5, I don't know, something like that, my mom took me to the West Indies Islands. We stayed there for a month. It wasn't just like a vacation. It was like we were there to work and live like the people there live. Like anytime my mom took me out of the country, it was to see how other people live, pretty much. It wasn't just like, oh, we're gonna go to a resort and just hang out at the beach the whole time. Like, we had to do work and stuff. And so we did that. It was cool though, because like we would work in the morning and then in the middle of the day when it would get really hot, we would go to the beach and hang out for a while. And then like in the evening we would work more. So it was pretty awesome. And then I want to say when I was about 6 years old, we went to Mexico for a month. We didn't go to the touristy places at all. We did the same thing. We stayed with local people there in like the third world country part. One place that we stayed at didn't have running water or electricity, and that was actually like my favorite place to stay while we were there. And so that was really cool. Like, I think it was cool of my parents to try to help me appreciate how good I have it here. And so I didn't do any more world traveling until I was a teenager. Fast forward to about 10 years old, we moved to El Reno, Oklahoma, and that was an interesting transition. That was my first time to ever be around any mean girls. Well, no, that's not true. I was around mean girls before. I just didn't realize that they were mean girls. And girls can be mean, so it was one of those things where it's like you either join them or get treated like crap and have no friends. And so I was kind of stuck in that situation. Unfortunately, I think I was probably one of the mean girls some of the time. And I apologize for that. I was a mean girl from about 13 to 16, I would say. And when I turned 16, I was over it. And I was like, this isn't what friendship is supposed to be about. This is crap. And so I kind of started fresh with some friends. Just, there's one friend of mine that her and I have been friends since we were 2 and 3 years old, and we will always be friends. We're more like sisters. And her and I stopped messing with all the shenanigan girls and just kind of relied on each other and had true friends through the rest of our teenage years. Graduated high school when I was 16, 17. Was I 16 or 17? It was in that time frame. I think I was 17. Graduated high school. My dad encouraged me to go to college around that time, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I didn't want to waste my time going to school and not having any clue what I want to do with my life. Like, I just felt like if I go to school and spend all this time in these classes and then I hate it and it's not even what I want, then what's the point? Like, what a epic waste of time. So I worked. I waited tables for way too long. And I waited tables as an adult too, and I bartended some, and got married when I was 20. I started going to school when I was 22, 23-ish. I wanted to be a sign language interpreter. So I started going to school for that. And I did really well at it, actually. I was doing really well in all the classes, and even in English, which was a shocker for me, but I had an amazing teacher in English. Changed my whole outlook on life, actually. In my second semester of my second year, I believe. Nope, first semester of my second year of college, I got pregnant with Lachlan. So I dropped all my classes except for English, which ended up being a struggle for me to get to because I felt like crap the entire time I was pregnant. I chose to have a home birth, an all-natural home birth, and that is like the one most life-changing experience I've ever had, and in the best way possible. And yeah, it hurt, whatever, but I'm gonna do it again. Getting into the future. After I had my baby, before we had him, Trevor told me that I could be a stay-at-home mom if I wanted to be. So I decided to stay at home with Lachlan. So I started being a stay-at-home mom, and I decided right after I had Lachlan, because I was hearing all these birth stories from other women and other moms, and like the whole time I was pregnant and ever since, everybody's birth story sounded so horrifying and like it wasn't what they wanted, and most of them were disappointed in their experience and disappointed in themselves, and like, oh, I wish I would have done it naturally. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. And it was just so filled with regret. And I didn't feel, and I don't feel that way at all. I am so happy with the experience that I've had. I decided I wanted to help women with that. And so that is what made me decide to go with being a doula. And I can look up the statistics and list them all here. But doulas help with so much in the birth process. And I just really felt like this is something that I need to do. And my time in school was not wasted because deaf parents need doulas too. And so I can definitely use my sign language skills with that. So that was a nice conversion from past to now to future. So I'm still working on my certification for birth doula, and I'm going to work on my certification for a postpartum doula as well. And I think for the future, I'm going to be a doula. So there's that. I'm going to be attending births and helping families have the experience that they choose, they want, and be more satisfied with it. And I'm definitely having more kids. Yes, they will, obviously, if there's not, some kind of emergency or some, pregnancy and birth is so unpredictable. If everything works out perfectly, I will have all of my babies at home. More kids, a different house eventually. I would like to move. I would really like to move to California at some point. It is, so beautiful there. I love it. But we'll see. We will see. Being a mom makes you really enjoy the time you have now. And so I'm not trying to, I used to plan everything. I planned my future out like, all the time. And now I'm just like, you know what? I have a baby. He's only going to be like this for a very short period of time, and I want to enjoy every moment of it, and I can't do that if all I'm doing is planning for the future. I'm not saying that I'm not planning at all. I am to a certain extent, obviously, but it's not, like, the most important thing. So, that is me. That's where I come from. And, let me know what you think of my life, I guess, in the comments. Hopefully this didn't bore you or last too long. It lasted a lot longer than I expected or wanted. Everybody have an awesome day. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Click the like button and possibly share if you liked my video. I don't know. Leave a comment below. Please give us topics and questions that you would like for us to answer. We are always looking for new things to talk about. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!